And welcome back to Crown Jewels. Yes, I had a haircut last time. It was terrible. So, Season 19 is the first season in a while that I actually think is really good. I wouldn't call it one of my favourites, but it's genuinely really good. People sleep on this one. They really do. They sleep on the Fifth Doctor era as a whole. I'm not going to treat it as if Time Flight doesn't exist, and that does bring it down for me. The fact that Time Flight is there, because it is bad, but the rest of the season is really good. I do admit, for main characters, when you don't really know how to group them together, how to orientate them throughout plots, is a choice, but I feel like they all have clear functions within the story. I personally feel like if any of them are superfluous, it's Nyssa. Only because she's just too nice. She's smart, but Adric's there. Unfortunately, I do believe this does kind of hinder some of my enjoyment of the season, but not entirely, because I do really enjoy it. For example, Castrovalva I think is underrated. It's very creative, and I do very much enjoy it. I also enjoy The Visitation Black Orchid, two pretty decent historicals. And if Time Flight didn't exist, that's the lowest this season gets. Stuff that I just like. My two honourable mentions are Forward to Doomsday. Forward to Doomsday's good. People sleep on this one. Why does no one, care about it? I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10 story. It's got really nice ideas, explores them in a really interesting way, but doesn't quite have that essence that would bring it up to perfection. And also, even then, it does suffer a few pacing problems towards the end. Monarch's just sort of defeated out of nowhere, and then the story doesn't really end. Nyssa just faints and then done. It just feels like the story just stops, which is unfortunate given how much I enjoyed everything leading up to it. Something else which I wasn't expecting this to be an honourable mention. I was expecting not to even really be talking about it, but Earthshock. Yeah, people love this one, and were probably expecting it as my pick for a crown jewel. But there's always been something about Earthshock that I couldn't quite click with. And this time, I felt like I could enjoy the story from start to finish. It wasn't just the Doctor and Adric arguing, then resolving their argument, static, and then boom, you know? With all the relevant Cyberman stuff during the first two parts included. But, this time, I actually felt like I could follow along with it, and I think my problems with Earthshock were mainly a me problem. Cybermen's plan was good, done well. The character stuff was really good. I feel like all four characters were handled really well. Maybe, do you know what? It's a joint crown jewel. Why not? I would say my only issue is that there wasn't really much to my personal taste in there, and I think that might be why I've never really clicked with Earthshock. I don't mind a bit of an action. It's just the thoughts and ideas behind it. There wasn't really much politically motivating it, other than some of the characters really wanted money. But even then, that was a focus until it wasn't, and it just, oh no, it doesn't. I think that's the source that was missing. It's source, but it has everything else that I would want. So Earthshock, good. So Kinder is the one that I would say is arguably the best Fifth Doctor story. There is one that we'll get to in this series that is definitively better, and one that I personally prefer for nostalgia reasons. But other than that, Kinder does have the things that Earthshock's missing for me. I don't think it handles itself as well as Earthshock. But it's good. I think the idea of the Mara, drawing inspiration from the actual myth of the Mara here on Earth, yeah. It's an interesting concept, and the way it's characterized is perfect, I would say. I just wish we got more of it. And I know we get more of it in Snake Dance, but in this story it just felt perfectly handled, and yeah. If your biggest complaint about something is, I wanted to see more of it, either they underutilized it, or it was done perfectly, and it's the latter in this case. It doesn't really have a presence in Part 3, but I honestly felt like this time I was more invested in the Kinder themselves and how the Doctor and Adric were dealing with them, and also dealing with the humans who are going insane because of the Kinder's weird magic powers, and that threat was more prevalent. And then as we got to know more and more about the Kinder, we got to see that there was a larger threat that was causing all of this, that being the Mara. And the way the Mara was integrated into the plot through Tegan, and everything to do with that, oh my god, it's like some of the best stuff I've seen in Doctor Who. I really love the trippiness behind it. And the direction's pretty solid too. No Warrior's Gate, it was really well directed for what it was. I just feel like the technology was letting it down personally. Here, there was nothing letting it down in Kinder. The only thing is the Mara itself, but even then, watch the DVD version. Turn the CGI effect on. It makes life so much better. But yeah, I felt like Kinder, with its whole indigenous peoples and how you treat them, as well as temptations and how one demon can rot society from within. It's just such a interesting story. Note how I didn't mention Nyssa. It's because she's not in it, like, at all. They excuse her absence, and that's it. To be honest, I don't think Nyssa's absence would have made me prefer Earthshock. I do genuinely think all four of them are handled well. But honestly, Nyssa is... Here's the thing, I enjoy her when I watch her in something I like, but when she just leaves me empty as a character. They should have killed her in Earthshock and not Adric. Because the Doctor and Adric's chemistry was getting so amazing, which kind of makes Adric's death in Earthshock more impactful, if you pardon the pun. But it's... And that impact was beautiful, but at the same time, get rid of Nyssa. I know people didn't like Adric, but like, Adric is a better character. Just overall. But what do you think? I think Season 19 is underrated, and I definitely think Kinder and Earthshock, which are the two I think people like the most, are examples of why you should not take the Fifth Doctor era for granted. I know Earthshock is a popular pick, but I feel like you really should just take it in more, because there is really good character work in Earthshock and really good thematic work in Kinder, and those are like my two things that I really like. And if both had an equal amount of both, they would genuinely be like possibly like the highest of the high tier. But yeah, that was my discussion on Season 19. And next time we discuss Season 20. Bye!